Welcome to Knowledge Hub, where curiosity meets discovery. Dive into a world of fascinating facts, mind-blowing science, and the secrets behind everyday wonders. Get ready to expand your mind and explore topics that spark your imagination. Let's unlock the knowledge together. I've always been drawn to the eerie and the unexplained, but nothing could prepare me for what happened at the House of Haunt. It all started with a show I stumbled upon, detailing the dark history of a hospital that was once a mental asylum. Dr. Richard, a name that sends chills down the spine, conducted horrific experiments on his patients. Those poor souls suffered unimaginable torment, and when they finally attempted to escape, they set the place ablaze. In a tragic twist, they took Dr. Richard with them, leaving behind a charred relic of horror. Fast forward to today, and that very hospital is now a notorious haunted house. I thought it would be the perfect spot for my birthday party. Sure, my relationship with Steven, my wealthy husband, was rocky at best. He was too busy promoting his horror-themed amusement park to even notice my calls. But I wanted to do something different, something memorable. I convinced him to agree, despite his reluctance. As the day approached, I felt a strange energy surrounding the place. It was as if the spirits of those who perished were still lingering, waiting for something or someone. When the guests arrived, I noticed something odd. The guest list had changed. 4 unexpected visitors showed up, each with their own reasons for being there. They were drawn in by the promise of $1 million, a twisted incentive to survive the night in a place where so many had met their end. We were greeted by Watson, the enigmatic owner of the House of Haunt. His presence was unsettling, and his stories about the hospital's past sent shivers down my spine. He spoke of the experiments, the screams that echoed through the halls, and the flames that consumed everything. It was as if the walls themselves were whispering secrets, urging us to leave while we still could. But curiosity got the better of us. We decided to explore, to uncover the truth behind the hauntings. Each room we entered felt alive with energy, shadows flickering just out of sight. The air was thick with tension, and I could feel the weight of the past pressing down on us. The deeper we ventured, the more we realized that the house was not just haunted by the memories of the dead, but by something far more sinister. As the night wore on, the stakes grew higher. The unseen force that had altered our guest list seemed to toy with us, leading us into traps and challenges that tested our resolve. I could see the fear in my friend's eyes, and I felt it creeping in myself. The house was alive, and it wanted us to know its pain, its anger, and its hunger for revenge. With each passing hour, the line between reality and the supernatural blurred. We had come to celebrate, but now we were fighting for our lives. The darkness that enveloped the House of Haunt was relentless, and I couldn't shake the feeling that we were being watched, judged by the very souls who had suffered here. In the end, it wasn't just about surviving the night. It was about confronting the horrors of the past and the choices we made in the present. The House of Haunt was more than just a haunted hospital. It was a reminder that some places hold onto their pain, and that sometimes the past refuses to stay buried.
I can't shake the feeling that something is off. Ever since we arrived at this house, strange occurrences have been unfolding, and I can't help but suspect Steven. He's always been a bit of a wild card, but this time it feels different. The lockdown was supposed to be a fun escape, but now it feels like a trap. We decided to explore the basement, thinking it would be a harmless adventure. But as we descended those creaky steps, I felt a chill run down my spine. The air grew heavy, and the shadows seemed to stretch and twist around us. It was there we found the statues, eerie figures frozen in time, their expressions hauntingly lifelike. I could almost hear whispers echoing off the walls, urging us to leave. But curiosity got the better of us, and we pressed on. Then it happened. Ghostly apparitions began to materialize, their translucent forms flickering in and out of existence. Panic swept through the group like wildfire. People were screaming, scrambling for the exit, but I couldn't move. I was rooted to the spot, my eyes locked on Steven. He stood there, a smirk playing on his lips, and I couldn't shake the feeling that he was behind all of this. In a moment of clarity, I confronted him. You orchestrated this, didn't you? I accused, my voice trembling with a mix of fear and anger. He just laughed, but there was something in his eyes, a glimmer of something darker. It was then that I realized we were not just dealing with Stephen's games. The guest list had been manipulated, and it was clear that a supernatural force was at play, tied to the tragic past of this house. As we pieced together the fragments of our situation, the truth began to emerge. The spirits of those who had suffered here were not just figments of our imagination. They were real, and they were angry. Each ghost represented a story, a life cut short, and now they were trapped, seeking justice or perhaps revenge. Facing our fears became our only option. We gathered our courage and confronted the spirits, acknowledging their pain and the wrongs of the past. It was a harrowing experience, but in that moment of vulnerability, we found strength. We realized that the House of Haunt was not just a place of terror. It was a reminder of the lives that once filled its halls. As we stood together, united against the darkness, I understood that we were not just guests in this house. We were part of its story, and it was time to rewrite the ending. The spirits may haunt this place, but we would not let fear dictate our fate. We would confront the past, honor the memories, and finally, find a way to set them free. I never thought I'd find myself in a situation like this. Lauren and I were supposed to be enjoying a quiet evening, but everything spiraled out of control. I was just standing there, heart racing, when her lifeless body suddenly stirred. I thought I was losing my mind when she kissed me. It felt surreal, like something out of a horror movie. But that was just the beginning of our twisted game. You see, Lauren and I had this elaborate plan. We thought we could scare everyone into believing Stephen was the villain. It was supposed to be foolproof. With Stephen out of the picture, all of his property would come to Lauren. We didn't anticipate that someone would actually die in the process. That wasn't part of the plan. As the night wore on, I could see the fear in Lauren's eyes. She was worried that our little charade wouldn't be enough to convince the others. I tried to calm her down, but she was spiraling. In a moment of panic, she turned on me. I never saw it coming. One minute we were partners in this scheme, and the next I was fighting for my life. She attacked me, and before I knew it, I was on the ground, gasping for breath. I could see the realization in her eyes as she realized what she had done. But it was too late. The guests, fueled by fear and confusion, turned their anger towards Stephen. They thought he was the monster, and in their frenzy, they killed him. I remember the chaos vividly. Watson stumbled upon my body in the basement, and that's when everything unraveled. They followed Lauren's plan, thinking they could pin it all on Stephen. They took my blood and checked the saturation chamber, expecting to find Stephen's body. But instead, they found me, and then there was her, a girl with a gun, trembling and terrified. Stephen tried to explain himself, tried to convince her he wasn't the killer. But fear can twist the truth into something unrecognizable. She pulled the trigger, and just like that, another life was lost. In the end, it was all a mess of betrayal and fear. Lauren's plan crumbled, and we were left with nothing but chaos. All because we thought we could outsmart everyone. But in this game, the stakes were too high, and the consequences were deadly.
I stand here, staring at Stephen's lifeless body, my heart pounding in my chest. I never wanted it to come to this. I had my reasons, my motives, but now they feel so trivial, so insignificant. I confess everything, pouring out my soul, hoping he'll understand. But instead, I see the anger in his eyes, the betrayal. It ignites something primal within him, and just like that, we're spiraling into chaos. He lunges at me, rage fueling his every move. I can't back down now. I know I'm wearing a bulletproof jacket, but that doesn't make this any less terrifying. I brace myself for the inevitable confrontation, but before I can process what's happening, I'm yanked away, pulled into a dark, terrifying room. Panic surges through me as I realize I'm not alone in this nightmare. Meanwhile, Stephen is trapped, his fear palpable. He tries to escape, but the doors are locked tight. I can only imagine the horror that grips him as he stumbles upon dismembered body parts scattered around. It's a grotesque scene, one that would shatter anyone's sanity. I hear his desperate knocks, his pleas for help echoing in the darkness. Outside, others are trying to break free through a window, their faces twisted in confusion and fear. When they hear Stephen's voice, their shock is evident. They think I've killed him. The weight of that accusation crushes me, but I can't dwell on it. I need to survive. Suddenly, a shadow sweeps over Watson, pulling him into the abyss. I can see the terror in Stephen's eyes as he realizes the danger is closing in. "Run," he shouts to Eddie and Sarah. They bolt, but the shadows are relentless, chasing them down like predators. In a moment of bravery, Stephen turns back to save Sarah, but the shadows are too strong. I watch in horror as they engulf him, leaving behind nothing but a mummified shell. It's surreal, a nightmare I can't wake up from. I'm left standing in the darkness, grappling with the consequences of my choices. The fear, the regret, it all crashes over me like a tidal wave. I never wanted this. I never wanted any of this. I can't believe what I've just uncovered. Trapped in this darkness, I learned the truth from the shadows. My father was behind all the horrors I faced. It's like a nightmare I never woke up from. And then the shocking twist, I was adopted. All this time, I thought I knew who I was, but I was living a lie. Just when despair threatened to swallow me whole, I felt a presence, Watson's soul. It was as if he reached out, guiding me, helping me find a way out of this nightmare. As I broke free, the sunlight poured in, illuminating everything. And there it was, a simple envelope, but inside, $1 million checks signed by Stephen. It's surreal. This isn't just about money. It's a lifeline, a chance at a new beginning. Joy surged through me as I realized we were saved. I've faced the shadows, uncovered the truth, and now I'm ready to embrace whatever comes next. If you enjoy what you see, hit that subscribe button and join our community. Don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss an update. Your support means the world and helps us create even more amazing content for you.